Welcome to the PLA 3.0 tutorial series, Working with Documents. In this video, we will discuss the options PLA folders provide to help you configure your database. We proceed in 3 steps. We first look at the settings available in the folder properties, especially document restrictions. We then discuss how these are inherited by subfolders. And we finally provide an example that illustrates how you put folder properties to use in conjunction with other features in PLA. In PLA, folder properties allow you to restrict the content of individual folders and their subfolders to particular document types and even to documents generated from particular templates. Although subfolders inherit the properties by default, you can still make adjustments to the properties of individual subfolders. Note: you need the Edit Folder Properties permission to be able to edit the properties. To access the folder properties of a particular folder, first select the folder in the navigator. PLA provides 3 ways to open the Folder Properties dialog: from the File menu, from the main toolbar, and from the context menu on the folder in the navigator. The Folder Properties dialog has 3 tabs. The first lists information on the key used to reference the folder within PLA, the folder name, and the security context. You can rename the folder here. The second tab allows you to format the keys that reference documents, templates, and folders in PLA. If you want to enable this feature and override the current configuration, click the Change Configuration button at the bottom of this dialog. Then you can define default key formats for documents, templates, and folders. You can also define key formats for documents and templates of a specific document type. The formats consist of 3 parts, that is, an optional prefix, an optional suffix, and the mandatory numeric counter. For the counter you can set an optional padding of leading zeros. The PLA platform guarantees that every key is unique. On the third tab, which is the most substantial, you can configure document restrictions. As on the previous tab, if you want to enable this feature and override the current configuration, click the Change Configuration button at the bottom. Document restrictions enable you to specify the document types and templates that users can employ to add documents and also templates to individual folders. When you change document restrictions, changes apply to all new additions to the folder and its subfolders, irrespective of how users add them, that is, create, move, copy, or import them. Changes do not apply to documents and templates already contained in the folder and its subfolders. Let us look at a typical workflow. To run a series of biological assays based on a single configuration, you would follow 3 steps. First, set up an assay document with the configuration you require and save it as a template. Second, create a new folder to hold the assays and prevent it from adding documents not generated from the template. Third, require users to generate the assay documents and perform the assays in the folder or one of its subfolders. In combination with the task permissions of the PLA 3.0 User Account Management, this enables you to precisely define which actions users can apply to assays and data contained in the database. We provide an example at the end of this video. The Document Restrictions tab provides 3 options to restrict folder content. With the first option enabled, users can only access particular templates. This does not keep users from adding new documents that are not based on templates. With the second option enabled, users can only add documents that are based on templates. A common use case is to combine this with the first option. With the third option enabled, users can only add documents that are based on the document types and templates listed in the table of this tab. To show how these options work, we have imported the templates folder of the default demo database into this database. A common use case is to combine all templates relevant to a project in one folder and then disallow the use of other documents in the project folder. So select the first 2 options and select the template folder. The Templates folder contains 3 templates for control charts. Now we cannot add any documents to this folder, unless we generate them from one of the templates in our Templates folder. Let us look at another common use case. You may not have all templates you need in a single folder, or you want to restrict documents by document type rather than template. In both cases, you enable the third option on the tab and define specific document types or templates in the table provided for this purpose. To add a document type or template to the table, click the Add button. A separate dialog lets you select a document type. You can further restrict documents of that type, and require users to employ a specific template. Click the ellipsis to select the template. Again, we use a template from the demo data. Note, with this third document restriction option, you can only specify one template per document type. If you need multiple templates for one document type, put them in a single folder and use the first and second document restriction option. Now only the template we specified is available for document creation. We now want to discuss inheritance of folder properties. By default, all subfolders inherit the folder properties including document restrictions. But you can override this for individual subfolders. When you open the Folder Properties dialog on a subfolder and click the Change Configuration button, PLA creates a copy of the parent configuration. If you make any changes here and confirm the dialog, the new settings only apply to the currently selected folder and all its subfolders. Note, in this context, the Reset Configuration button restores the settings of the parent folder. To wrap up this tutorial, we explore how you combine document restrictions with the task permissions of the PLA 3.0 User Account Management. You can download the database and Excel file of this tutorial using the link listed below the video. If you combine document restrictions with the task permissions of the PLA 3.0 User Account Management, you can precisely define which actions users can apply to essays and data contained in the database. This example uses a template and a user called Associate Research Scientist. The template has a complete configuration for performing an essay. We use an antibiotic agar diffusion essay as an example. The template's protection settings only allow users to view elements. The only exception are response values, which users can edit as well. Our Associate Research Scientist has permissions to create, read, and edit documents. We have 2 folders. For the Production folder, enable the third option on the Document Restrictions tab, and add the template contained in the Templates folder. Log out of the administrator account and log in as Associate Research Scientist. Note, the Associate Research Scientist sees both the introduction and the example folder, but can only access the latter. They have different security contexts assigned in account management. Now the only template available for document creation is the one specified. We just need to copy our response values into the document. They are available in an Excel file. Just copy them and paste them into the response column in the Observations editor. These settings also work if you use our data acquisition modules to get response values into essay documents. Consult our webpage for more information. The link is listed below the video. Since the response values are now in the document, the Associate Research Scientist can calculate the essay and report the result. Once the calculation is complete, the editor dashboard displays the result. Use the report feature to document the essay result. For quantitative response essays, 3 reports are available, which differ in level of detail and complexity. Select an option from the action drop-down list to show, print, or save the report. Enjoy your first steps in PLA 3.0. If you want to know more about working with documents, please consult our videos on this topic and our help pages.